50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, what a time to be alive. Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 417. Today is Monday, July 1st. June is gone. It's come and gone, guys. I am your host, D-Rock, and joining me, as always, not as hot anymore, kid. We had a little rain today. How you doing?
Yeah, it was kind of like a little storm. It was like Florida, though. It just rained really hard for about like 30 minutes, and then it all went away. So, glad it's cooling down up here in the East Coast. End of June, heading into July. Start of NBA free agency. It should be a frenzy deal. Let's get into it.
Yeah, got a lot to talk about. Lots happened since we last spoke over the weekend. Last few days, free agency has officially begun. We will talk about that. Got some other bits and bobs we'll talk about as well. Not the biggest slate here on a Monday, only 3 games on the diamond. We got 2 games in the WNBA as well. Got some Clayton Clark to talk about as well. Angel Reese continued to making history as well. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But like you said, free agency has began, I think, around 6 o'clock on Sunday. I want to go basically in chronological order about what's really happened, because a lot has happened. A lot of people got traded, a lot of people got waived, a lot of people got new contracts. So let's start in chronological order and we'll work our way. Hopefully some news breaks while we record, but we will start in Toronto. Emmanuel quickly signed a 5-year, $175 million contract. He arrived last year with that trade with the Knicks. He established himself as one of the cornerstones in Toronto, and he got paid. I mean, I'm so happy for Emmanuel quickly. I wish he could have stayed, but he was too good of a player. He wasn't getting enough shine here with the Knicks, but I'm glad he finally got somewhere and he was able to get that contract.
Yeah, deal. Great deal. To me, a little overpaid, but I think he could live up to the contract, honestly. I think he will improve in these next upcoming years. So he will be a better player. So it may be 2 years down the road where we may have a conversation that Manuel quickly is underpaid. And I hope we do have that conversation. So I like the fact that the Raptors are just not another sell now type year. We saw them sell now a couple years, letting go Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, and other couple vets, Pascal as well. Now, they take care of the young bulls. They got quickly put them a long-term deal. They got Scotty Barnes on a long-term deal. So I like the fact that they're actually getting these long-term deals done with young talent. So it shows me they're at least trying to develop something and build around these two guys. So I like that for the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, they're going places. They're building. They're young. RJ Barrett has another year or 2 on that contract, so we'll see if they decide to extend him as well. But I love it. He finally gets his playing time, and I do agree. I think he will live up to the hype. I don't think it's underpaid. I think he is that good, and he's shown his numbers just drastically improved when he got traded over. So happy for Emmanuel quickly, and everyone on the Knicks. They were just pouring in support, like, "Hey, dinner's on you, quick!" When we're in town, dinner's on you, kid. So very happy for Emmanuel quickly. Over in Dallas, they traded Tim Hardaway Jr. and 3 second-round picks to Detroit for Quentin Grimes. Dallas sends over a 2025 second-round pick from Toronto. This move kind of puts the Mavs in a position to offer a significant part of that $13 million mid-level contract to Derrick Jones Jr. I know Nico Harrison, the GM for Detroit, he's called in and basically made it a priority, either 1A or 1B, to re-signing Derrick Jones Jr. So, they traded him away and they free up some money to re-sign Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah, I think it was a good deal, just because they need to free up the cap space. And then let's just be honest. The Mavs made the finals without Penny Hardaway, honestly, throughout the whole playoffs. He didn't play, besides a couple games in round 1, if that. So they don't really need him. They Quentin Grimes, another guy that could, play, hard level defense. He could play, perimeter. So that's a good trade in that aspect. And they also need to me, it's not a must, This team would definitely look much better with Derrick Jones Jr. on the roster, just
Yeah.
because he could guard honestly 1 through 5, maybe not the 5 because but he could definitely guard 1 through 4. And any given night he could give you some buckets. He's a high flyer. He plays above the rim. Like once again I said he high level defensive player. So I think if you're the Dallas Mavericks and you want to run it back, be a contender these next 2-3 seasons where you have Luka and Kyrie, you're gonna have to retain a player like Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah, I agree. And proof was in the pudding. They wound up playing Derrick Jones Jr. way more than they wound up playing Tim Hardaway Jr. in that playoffs. I know Tim Hardaway wound up playing a little in the finals, but outside of that, I think for the future, it's Derrick Jones Jr. they need to build around as well with Luka and Kyrie. So, yeah, definitely a smart decision on their part. I think that one of the big dominoes that kind of fell over the weekend, Atlanta trading away DeJounte Murray to New Orleans for Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, a 2025 first-round pick via the Lakers, a 2027 first-round pick, the least favorable of the Bucks Pelicans. So, 2 first rounders, 2 players for DeJounte Murray. New Orleans was 0-24 when trailing entering the fourth quarter and 2-14 in close games. And, they saw DeJounte Murray, I guess, as kind of a player who could generate offense late in games. And he's a good job hitting threes as well. And I think Pelicans, I think they remain committed to building around Zion and CJ. And, they're trying to work out a contract with Brandon Ingram. Maybe they wind up trading him, but I like the move for the Pelicans getting a true point guard.
Yeah, I think they definitely needed a point guard bad though. And Gerard Murray, he's an all-star caliber player, and I think he could give you on both sides of the court. As
Mm-hmm.
well defensively and offensively. And like you said, this team needed a point guard. Like you have CJ running the point. Some of the time last season. To be honest, he's a shooting guard. Honestly, he could be a small forward, but you got Zion and Bi there. So, and in my opinion on your take, though, I think if I'm the Pelicans front office, I'd rather move off CJ than Bi because Bi's still young. Yes, he'd be a little, let's just say, a little more nicked, with the injury bug. But when Brandon Ingram is on, he could score with the best of them. I understand his motor might not run as high as CJ, but if I'm gonna move forward, let's just say if I have to give both of them an extension, I'd rather give Bi that extension than CJ moving forward.
I was saying that in the group chat. I was saying how I'd rather move off of CJ than Brandon Ingram because Brandon Ingram, I think, offensively is a little better. Yes, defensively, I worry about, but it's the contract. They can't get a number. They can't agree
Yeah,
on a
he
certain
he
number.
deserves to get paid. Like for example, he's gonna get more than Emmanuel quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. He's gonna get at least a little more than that. So from the Pelican side, you gotta look. They paying CJ. They paying Zion that 250 something. You know they gotta pay to Devontae. So Valanciunas. Oh no, Valanciunas is a free agent. So
Yeah.
there's all these guys that got a lot of money, and so are they gonna pay also Bi a damn near max contract as well?
We will see, and I think for the other side, Atlanta, they kind of put an end to that, whole experiment with Trey Young and DeJounte Murray. It was like a promising thing with 2 guards, but it just didn't work. It was kind of evident towards the end of the season that they were going to either move Trey Young or DeJounte Murray. They ended up moving DeJounte Murray. And I'll say this, I still think they might wind up end up trading and just blow it up and Trey Young. I mean, they bring in a promising young wing and Dyson Daniels. They're getting a few picks back. Landry Fields, you know, I just think he doesn't think that the new ownership and new GM for the Atlanta Hawks, I feel like he doesn't think that backcourt can work. Obviously not. They traded DeJounte Murray. I still think Trey Young might be on the move here soon.
Possibly, to be honest, it's a possibility, Dill. But what I would do, Trey Young, he led this team to an Eastern Conference final. You know, we could agree. He might not be the most popular player in the NBA, but Dill, could we agree he's one of the most clutches player in the NBA? one of, not
One
the,
of.
not
Yeah.
the top 10
Hmm.
clutch. He's clutch.
He's a
He's
clutch player. Yeah.
he's a double guy. He's gonna average around 10 assists a game. He led the league multiple times in assists. He's gonna give you around 20 points a game. So I think Trey Young is maybe not a superstar, but definitely a star player in this league. I think Trey Young's definitely a top 10 point guard, and you can build around him. You got the first overall pick, Scar. I think him, Trey Young, and maybe another piece or two. Maybe you could get something. Maybe not now, but you got to build around that. I just feel like you don't move off Trey Young unless it's like you're gonna get like four, fifth, five first round picks, something like Utah did for Rudy. Because at the end of the day, he's I'm not gonna say he's that dude, but he took the Atlanta Hawks somewhere, and I think he's capable of doing another run like that again. And imagine if he has another co-star with him, maybe a year or two down the road, maybe Atlanta could compete with a title. I think the East is a little top heavy right now with your Knicks, 76ers, Bucks, and the Celtics, but maybe Atlanta could make noise in 2-3 years from now. Trey Young is still very young, people. Him and Luka are both what 20, 25. They came in the same draft. Nah, he's a little older than Luka, but I'm pretty sure Trey Young's under 26 years old, people. So I would stick with Trey Young just because he's cold. He's a double machine, and when healthy, to me, he's one of the clutchest players in the NBA.
Yeah, he's 25. He'll be 26 in September. So yeah, still under 26. I've been saying, what is the one team I'm saying that is dying for a point guard? I know they kind of addressed it in the draft, but you pair him up in San Antonio with Victor Wembanyama. I mean, Trey Young and Victor would eat in the West.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that move. I think that's a team you should watch out for. I don't know if I have no sources or news. I just think it would be a good fit, honestly, in San Antonio. So we'll see there. D'Angelo Russell, he opts into his final year in the contract for the Lakers, $18.7 million. He says, "I love JJ Redick and what he's about. I really see myself thriving under his guidance to help win at a very high level."
Mm.
Kind of buying into the system. I like it.
I think this is a decent move for Russ and a great move for the Lakers. You get a pretty damn good point guard who averaged, I think, 18 to 20 points last season for the Lakers. Shot a, I think, career high from the 3-point line. Also made the most threes in Lakers franchise history. And you getting him back in for $18 million. So to me, that's a win-win for the Lakers. I understand Russ had a couple off games in the playoffs. I understand he's a little inconsistent sometimes, but the man did average about 20 points last season still. So
Yeah.
I'll take, if I'm the Lakers, that front office, I think D'Angelo Russell is a steal for under $20 million.
Yeah, no, I agree. Speaking of Russ, and Russ is 9-time All-Star guard Russell Westbrook. He's picking up his $4 million option, returning to the Clippers. He averaged 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists last season. But now, since free agency started, they're saying Clippers are working for him as a trade piece. One team to look forward to, Woj says, is Denver. Like that veteranship there going to Denver, honestly.
Yeah, he's a Bruce Brown type player, Dill. Maybe if Denver would have got, a guy like Russ, give you 10 or 15 off the bench, hey, maybe they win that game 7, Dill. That's all they needed, a couple more points off the bench. Russ, I understand he has a turnover issue, but if limited minutes roll, he could get you the rebounds, he could get you the assists, he could get you points, and get the bench rolling. And not for nothing, he's going to energize not just Denver, any second unit out there. So, and I think Russ could still start for multiple teams out there, but we both know at this stage of the career, he's going to want to go to a contending team. And if he's going to a contending team, he's going to be coming off the bench.
Now, to you, who do you think he could end up with if he doesn't stay hypothetically in LA? Do you like that move to Denver?
I like it to Denver just because I feel like he replaces Bruce Brown. Not saying Bruce Brown was there last year, but to me, one of the missing pieces why Denver didn't go back to back was Bruce Brown. He brings it both sides of the ball, and he can move the ball at a high pace with the second unit. I look at a team like Philly. They could add depth. Another guy who's gonna play 70 plus games, who could give you consistent minutes night in and night out. I think Russ is that guy. Philadelphia. Who else? Maybe the
I would
Bucks.
not like that.
I know you wouldn't like that.
Just
But maybe,
being honest.
yeah, maybe the Bucks. Maybe the Dallas Mavericks.
Mhm.
Remember, people, this is a $4 million minimum.
Real quick,
Any
can I
team could
interrupt
sign
real
them.
quick? You mentioned Bruce Brown. You know who I think he would fit in perfectly with? They need a wing type player. Milwaukee. Bruce Brown in
Now,
Milwaukee would look amazing. Now I don't want him as a Knicks fan in the East, but I'm
yeah,
just saying it would be a good fit.
it'll be a good fit, Dill. So I feel like Russ could just be a little sprinkle on top to a foundation that's already led. Hey, maybe even a reunion back in OKC. Shy's already his
Wow.
own guy. Chet is becoming his own. That team is already established. They just need Russ, leadership, and guidance. That's all.
Yeah.
When they got their heads down, Russ could pick them up. But Shy is already that guy. He's one of the best point guards in the NBA. Thunder was just the number one seed, 50+ win team. Russ is just an added piece to help them come playoff time, to just move the pace and give them those extra buckets, coming off the bench when needed and come playoff time. So I think it's any team that's just need depth, and is in any position in contending. Maybe even like a team like the Grizzlies still have Ja and John Russ in the backcourt late in the fourth quarter. Might
Marcus
be
Smart coming off an injury too.
Come on, that might make sense there. You don't want Ja pushing the ball up and down the court coming off an injury. Like you said, Marcus Smart coming off an injury, and who has played 70+ games since the start of their career?
And he might
Russ.
get suspended again, so you might need it. He
Come on,
might.
Dale. Why we
You
gotta
know.
take it there, man? Why we gotta take it?
I
We
just say.
talking free agency, man.
Shout out Royce O'Neal, staying with the Phoenix Suns, returning there 4 years, $44 million. Had one
Oh,
of his
good for
best
him.
seasons.
Good
Royce
for him.
O'Neal. Yeah, he plays both sides of the court too, which I like.
Yeah, net great. I like Royce O'Neal when he was playing for the Nets. To me, this is the type of guy. If he gets hot, he could get it going. Though he could rip off 3 to 5 threes in a row, get it going, and he also plays defense. So I think the
Yeah.
Suns needed it. I like the fact that they extended Grayson Allen before the playoff run. You extend Royce O'Neal, who could play both sides of the ball. Though maybe with the Suns last season was a failure, but you still got Kevin Durant as of right now in your roster. You still got Devin Booker. You still got Bradley Beal, and the supporting cast that you're giving these extensions to. These are key pieces that who could possibly help you win a championship.
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was a great addition, and I thought they got him for pretty low too. 4
Yeah,
years, only 44 million. Well deserved, but yeah, good for Royce O'Neal. All right, I think the main guys everyone wants to know about. Paul George, he declined his $48.7 million option. He is entering free agency, so he's met to meet with a bunch of people. Literally, while we're recording, Woj just tweeted out that a return to the Clippers is probably not going to happen. The Clippers exit leaves 76ers as the front runners to land Paul because they could give him his 4 years what they wanted. Clippers remain, they wanted to give him a 3-year similar deal to kind of what they did with Kawhi Leonard, kind of restructuring his contract, but he wanted a 4-year deal and something that they could give right off the bat, and the Clippers could do that. Oh man, I really don't want that, but it looks like he is going to go to Philly right now. I mean, they could just plug him right in, and you don't know how long Joel Embiid has. With his injury history, 4 years. They're in win now mode. They're not in rebuild mode as well. So they need within these next 4 years, they need to win something. So and the best option that they have is to add a guy like Paul George.
To me, though, this is the perfect move and landing spot for Paul George. He don't need to be the top guy. He could honestly possibly be the third option offensively for the 76ers still. Look, think about it. Paul George is what, 34, 35, going to be 34, 35 years old this upcoming season. Joel Embiid was an MVP, still one of the best players in the NBA. Tyrese Maxey, a rising star, potential superstar in this league. Maybe he takes another step this upcoming season. And Paul George, you just plug him right in. Paul George could give you his 20 to 25 a night, play both sides when needed, and be that consistent third option, which Tobias Harris never lived up to be. They gave him all that money. Tobias Harris is gone, Dale. This is why it makes the perfect sense. Tobias Harris is out the door. He's a free agent as we speak.
Good
So
riddance.
yeah, so you could just plug in Paul George and fill that spot in. And with that move, I would have to put him 1A with the Boston Celtics to be the favorites to win it all the upcoming season. Because a healthy Paul George, healthy uh, Joel Embiid with Tyrese Maxey in the mix, and I guarantee there'll be some veterans out there taking the minimum to join the 76ers to possibly make a championship run. Not this year, the next 2 to 3 seasons.
That's the whole thing, though. Can they stay healthy?
Yeah,
Which
that's why I said
I doubt.
But if healthy, I know I believe you will even agree and say it's them in the Celtics.
No, I wouldn't agree.
That's
Even with
nuts.
Paul George, objectively, honestly, we're deeper than them. Yeah, they might have it, but the odds of them actually being healthy
That's what
going
I'm saying.
into the season,
But it come
Don't
playoff
agree.
time, if the 76ers are fully healthy,
I
like their
don't.
chances.
Yeah, I think we could defend them. So I still think they're third. I think they're if they get Paul George, they're definitely better than the Bucks. They submit
Oh yeah,
themselves
yeah.
to third. But yeah, we'll see. But it definitely looks like that he is going to go there. I honestly thought he would stay, not with the Clippers, but like stay on the West Coast because he's from around there. I thought Golden State, but once they waived, they were trying to trade for him. Winded up not really going down with the whole Chris Paul thing. So
Hey,
I'm surprised he didn't stay on the West, honestly.
to be honest, I think the Lakers are live. Lakers are live, Dill.
I just don't think LeBron's going to take that big of a pay cut. That's my issue.
Let's say he does. Maybe the Lakers did LeBron a favor on draft night. And now LeBron going to return the favor.
Yeah.
Maybe he takes a Tim Duncan type deal. Maybe LeBron. Let's just say LeBron takes a 3-year, $90 million instead of the 3 years, 180. Let's just say
I don't know if he's going to take a $20 to $25 million pay cut. That's a lot, even for LeBron. And I think he's only going to take that big of a pay cut if they could land a Paul George or they could land Klay Thompson. He's not going to do it for Jonas Valanciunas. No disrespect, my guy, but LeBron's not doing that.
Another name out there, Donovan Mitchell. As of now, haven't yet to sign his extension for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's going to have to be a signing trade deal. All I'm saying is, Dill, if LeBron decides to take a Tim Duncan type deal, let's just say 3 years, 100, let's just say 3 years, 120, and he leaves $20 million on the table. They could make some noise. They could bring a Donovan Mitchell. They could bring a DeMar DeRozan. They could bring a Klay Thompson and another all-star caliber players with Klay Thompson, because I guarantee Klay Thompson is not going to ask for the moon. He made his money. He's out for revenge from the Warriors for not giving him that extension. So I feel like if LeBron just takes a haircut, they could possibly get Paul George and somebody else. But I guarantee it'll depends how big is the cut. We saw the reports. He said he's willing to work with the Lakers. How much is gonna work? That's the thing. I think it's not gonna be that much, but if it's just that 3 years around 100 mil, they just saved themselves $50-60 million still.
Yeah, I think we all agree he'll take a pay cut, but I don't think he's going to take that big of a pay cut. It's still LeBron at the end of the day.
He's a billionaire.
It doesn't matter.
No, I understand. I agree with you 100%, Dill. All I'm saying, Tom Brady did it. Tim Duncan did it.
Ain't Tom, though. I know. I feel you. It's just at the end of the day, you're leaving 20 to 30 million on the table, and regardless of who you are, how much money you have.
Tom Brady did it. Tim Duncan did it. Brady got 7. Tim Duncan has 5. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. James Harden, and the Clippers, they're prioritizing differently. They said, you know what? We're going to go and re-sign James Harden, 2 years, $70 million contract. He does have a player option for the second year. I'll say this. When I saw it, I just laughed and said, Clippers are going to be Clippers. I mean, I don't like it, if I'm being honest.
Still, for $35 million, I think James Harden is a good price. James Harden still could give you 20. I say 18 to 25.
I just don't think he's better than Paul George.
He's not. No, that's not
That's
the debate. Paul George, you said it yourself. Clippers was offering Paul George a 3-year deal. They offered James Harden a 2-year deal. That's everything you got to know. Paul George is going to get at least $50 million a year. James Harden signed for 35, though. We know James Harden ain't a max player anymore, but he's still a pretty damn good point guard, dude. He's going to be top 3 in assists year in and year out. Maybe not 5 years down the road, but for at least these 2 contract seasons, he will average there near 10 assists. He's going to give you 18 to 24 points a game. And let's just be honest, though. He plays. He's not like an injury bug type of guy. He's not I'm gonna rest, no back to back. James Harden's gonna play the games, and he's gonna be pretty much consistent night in and night out. Yes, he will not show up for a couple playoff games, but when he does, he will give you a 30-40 piece.
And he doesn't really play defense. That's my also concern with him. It's good. He's worth it. I'm not saying he's not worth it. I guess if I'm a GM or if I'm an owner, I'm prioritizing bringing back PG, a guy that plays 2 ways, a guy that really doesn't miss.
PG probably dubbed him. That's what I think. He might have just been like, you know what? I appreciate everything I've done for me, but I'm going to go somewhere else.
I think 2 things could be true. I think he wants to stay. It's just not at their number, not at their years. And Clippers aren't budging. They said, like, hey, we want to give you a 3-year deal. He said, nah, this could be his last contract. So he's trying to cash out, which I respect. And that was my whole point with the LeBron thing. That this might be his last contract. So they got to get their money. So yeah. I feel him, but
one thing with LeBron could sign a 1-year deal. That's another thing. He could also sign a 1-year deal. We got to take that in consideration. Mm-hmm. It won't be like a vet minimum, but let's just say he does like a 1-year, $30 million deal with a 2nd-year player option. That's gonna create a lot of cap space, though.
Yeah. Yeah, they got to do something. We'll see. But Clippers weren't done there. They signed Kevin Porter Jr. back to the team on a 2-year deal. He has a player option as well. You know, after 6 weeks of strong play in Greece and back in April and May, Kevin Porter Jr. apparently had multiple NBA suitors, but he wound up choosing the Clippers. Porter previously reached a plea agreement on a 3rd-degree reckless assault misdemeanor in January. He is in the process of completing the court-ordered program, and once completed his plea, will move to a not guilty with no criminal record. So he's kind of fixed his mistake, and he's back in the NBA. A lot of people wrote him off after January and after being released, but he wound up having a good 2-3 months overseas, and now he's back in the NBA.
Yeah, you know, good for him turning his life around, getting back into the NBA. Let's not forget, people, Kevin Porter Jr., he's a lottery pick. You know, he still has high potential. I'm not saying he's going to go in there and become an all-star next season, but there's a small chance he has the capability of becoming an all-star deal. So I like the move for the Clippers, getting a, low value, but low risk, high reward type of deal with Kevin Porter Jr.
Breaking news as we're recording, the Los Angeles Clippers have announced that Paul George has decided to sign with another team. It is expected to be the 76ers.
Oh, my God.
And guess where Chris Paul's going? He is signed, according to Chris Hines.
Yes. Can I guess? Give me. I'm gonna name 3 teams. Give me one small hint.
The West.
West. All right. Contending team.
No.
What? Oh, shit. All right.
I mean, doesn't that make sense? Why would Chris Paul sign to a contending team?
He's trying to win a title, Dill.
Yeah, but he's not in the position where he could do that at this point in his career. To be fair.
For a veteran deal, I think a contending team would take a shot at him. But
he's getting the vet minimum.
All right. So, damn, that threw me off a little bit. So, I'm going to go not a contending team. The Kings? The Kings? The Kings, Utah, Lakers.
None of the above.
What? So who? The West.
Well, Lakers are a playoff team. I'm talking about not
contending.
Yeah, and I said not contending. Not contending team. We just talked about them.
Yeah, not contending team.
Yeah.
I don't think the Lakers are contenders as of right now.
That's fair. I agree.
Uh, non-contending team. I named those three. I said the Kings. I thought the Kings made sense. Honestly.
The San Antonio Spurs. I told you they needed a point guard.
Wow.
Yep. He
For a
signed a
vet minimum.
Yep,
Minimum.
1 year deal to but he look, you get one of the best basketball IQs in Chris Paul with one of the best, if not the best NBA coach ever in Greg Popovich. I think that's a match made in heaven. And now he could mentor those two guys that they wound up getting in the draft. I think it's actually a really good fit. Do you not?
I think it's a great move for the Spurs. Still, like you
Yeah.
said, he could help develop the young bull from UConn, and also help Wimby become a much better player, understand the game.
Yeah.
The X's and O's, not just putting the ball in the basket, but the X's and O's, and just developing his IQ. I guarantee this 1 year with Chris Paul is gonna elevate his game. It's gonna take him to what we would have saw Wimby maybe 3 years from now. We're gonna see in the next 2 years, maybe even next season.
Yeah, it was Chris Haynes of Bleacher Report reported that just now. So yeah, Chris Paul on the move. We saw it on Sunday that he got waived. They were trying to trade him. They just weren't able to trade him. He was guaranteed $30 million today if they didn't waive him. They winded up waiving him, instantly found a home. I mean, you pair him up with Wembanyama and Greg Popovich. I think it's a match made in heaven, especially for San Antonio. That's what they need, and they're getting him at the low. So, yeah, really good there. Going back to the Lakers, though, real quick. I know at the start they signed and gave some of that money that they had to guard Max Christie. He signed a 4-year, $32 million deal to stay with the Lakers. It includes a player option in the third year. He was the 35th pick back in 2022, but he's shown promise. Late in the season, he became one of the rotational players, and I think LeBron winded up trusting him. When LeBron's out there passing you the ball in the open court, I think you have the trust of the GOAT at that point. So if the LeBron trusts you, I think ownership and Rob Pelinka says, you know what, we'll invest in this guy. So I'm happy for the kid.
Yeah, yeah. I think Max Christie definitely got to give at least 3% to Gabe Vincent, because that's the minutes he took over. No, let's just be honest though.
Gabe Vincent might not be on the team no more.
Nah, he is
he
on
might
the
be a
contract.
trade. He might be a trade
trade asset. He might
Yeah.
be a trade asset though, because Max Christie definitely stepped up. He's a young guy, could hit the corner three when open, could put the ball on the ground into the basket, and not for now, I'm not gonna call him elite, but he could play defense. He could play pretty good defense. So I like this move, get him for a fair number. And to be honest, though, I expect his minutes to increase this upcoming season.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's a really good move, and he's just going to get better. He's young. They just drafted him in 2022. He barely got in 2023. He just started to get some time because of the injury last year. And look, now he got paid. So I like it. We got a head coach move. Detroit Pistons, they got their head coach, JB Bickerstaff. He is the franchise coach. Now he becomes the Pistons head coach after consecutive trips to the playoffs with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He got to the Eastern Conference semifinals as well. It's a 5-year deal for the Pistons, and the Pistons aren't done yet. A couple minutes ago, they just signed Cade Cunningham to a 5-year, $226 max contract extension, which rightfully so. He's their best player, and they need to build around him. So they got their head coach and they got their point guard for the future.
Yeah, they'll. I'm not gonna put too much weight on the 5-year deal, because I don't think it matters anymore.
Yeah.
Anymore for the NBA head coaches on the year on the contract. So good for him finally getting a job. I think he could possibly be a great head coach. It's just, are the Pistons going to be patient? Because as of right now, the Pistons are not going to win 30, 40 games next season. They're not going to just miraculously jump into the play-in and be a playoff team next season. So let's just hope they're patient with him. And when Cade Cunningham, we know his potential is up there. When healthy, Cade Cunningham could possibly become an all-star. I think if healthy, he could be an all-star this upcoming season, It's just he's been dealing with the injury bug, and let's just face it, he's on the worst team in the NBA, the Detroit Pistons. So hopefully, a couple players could take the next step, and, maybe they could, take that jump. Maybe like something like the Houston Rockets did this past season, get to around 35 to 40 wins. So I think it's a good move, not a great move for the Pistons, but a good move, nothing else.
Yeah, 100%. And another guy we started this talking about an ex New York Knick and Emmanuel Clicky getting some money. Shout out Obi Toppin. He got paid as well, 4 years, $60 million to stay with Indiana.
Oh, nice.
And you remember in the Eastern Conference against the Knicks, against other teams, he really emerged as like a top bench contributor for this Pacer team. So going from a guy that, winded up playing in his idol in the New York Knicks, really not getting that fair crack, winded up getting a new fresh start, getting that big contract. I'm happy for Obi Toppin.
Yeah, to me, this is a great deal for both sides. To me, OG Top, you remember that we hit a couple times on the over.
Yeah.
His point props in the
They were
playoff
disrespecting
time.
him.
It was 7.5, 8.5, 9.5. I mean, OG was averaging about 10. I think he was giving about 10 a night. So I think OG, he's developing his 3-point shot since, just a couple years ago. He's been much improved as a 3-point shooter. He has the length, so he can live above the rim, and he can honestly develop to be a very good defensive player still. He got the size, he got the youth, he got the athleticism. It's just, can he put his mind to it? And not for nothing, with Tyrese holding down Pascal, giving him that long-term reception, now having Obi Top in there as well. I like what the Indiana Pacers are doing. Hopefully, well, not for your sake, Dale, but if Indiana, let's just say they're able to make a splash. Let's just say Indiana's able to get DeMar DeRozan, Dale. No, let's just say that'll be something. That'll be something, another a Klay Thompson. Can he be a difference maker for the Pacers? So to me, it all depends. But to me, they should get another player, all-star caliber type. Maybe not. Even just a guy that could put the ball in the bucket. Like a Gary Trent Jr. or somebody like
Great
that.
player. I want the Knicks to get Gary.
Miles Bridges. To me, the Pacers should be in the market for guys like that. Even like a guy that can shoot the ball, can hit threes. Malik Beasley coming off the bench can hit you a couple of threes. So if I'm the Indiana Pacers, I'm out there shopping because remember, Buddy Hield is a free agent. They lose him. That's a 3-point shooter that they're gonna miss. Hopefully, they can replace him as well.
Real quick, just got the number on Chris Paul. It is a 1-year, $11 million deal with incentives.
Not a vet minimum. I guess with the incentives, if they make the playoffs, could get up to 15, maybe 20.
Yeah, good for him. Mm-hmm. And since they waived him, it kind of puts an end. And I'll say this: I'm not a Warrior fan, but I respect what they did growing up in high school, going to all those finals and winning 4. And Clay's done. He probably played his last game in Golden State. My issue with it is it just didn't have to get like this. It's kind of like a relationship where instead of, separating and going your respected ways peacefully, it's a messy divorce now. And he doesn't really respect the front office. Don't remind you, Klay Thompson sat back and watched so many people get over 100 million, and they didn't take care of Klay, and he's really been one of the keystones outside of Steph Curry and Draymond Green. So I think they kind of disrespected him. He doesn't want any parts of it, and they just can't afford him at this point. So it's unfortunate. Apparently he has conversations with Dallas. They said, watch out for Dallas. I think that'd be an amazing fit for him. Lakers, which obviously seems like a great fit because of LeBron. He's great with shooters. His dad. Yep. His dad. Clippers, they said, watch out. And the 76ers, watch out as well. If they could add Klay and Paul George, then they're better than the Knicks. Then I will admit that they are better than the Knicks. But that would be OD. And they have the scary part is they have the money to do it. The 76ers. That's what I'm afraid of.
Embiid a couple years ago on as of right now, that's a friendly deal.
Gun to your head on a Monday, July 1st. We don't have any news. Those are the 4 teams. Out of those 4 teams, not who you want to see him, where do you think is the best fit for Klay? Because I honestly think it's Dallas.
Best fit for Klay Thompson.
Out of those 4 teams that he's going to be taking conversations with, Clippers, Lakers, Mavs, and 76ers.
Out of those 4 teams, in my opinion, I'm going to say the 76ers.
Oh, I hate you.
Not just because you won't have to do much.
Is that with PG or without?
Don't matter.
Oh, okay.
You just fill in. Put it like this, Dill. You could fill in Klay Thompson. Let's just say you want to put him in the starting rotation. He's going to be much better than Tobias Harris was ever were.
Yeah.
Ever was.
Yeah.
Especially these past seasons. No matter whatever you think of Klay Thompson, like some people are saying he's done, he's washed, he's going to be more productive than Tobias Harris was this all season. So, regardless, I think either, and I'm going to name you a team that wasn't in the Final Four. I think he'll be a perfect 6-man for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that'll be a perfect spot. I also do like Dallas. I agree with you. I think Dallas will be perfect coming off the bench as well. But I think the Bucks, 76ers should be 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I mean, where he could go. I mean, he's at this point in his career where I don't know, if he's willing to be a 6-man.
No, but
that's my thing.
My thing is, he's also in a stage of career where he can't be the first or second option.
Right? That's also a fact.
So,
but does he know that?
He does know that, Dale. He didn't fuss or whine when Steve Kerr put him to the bench. He just went out there and dropped 30.
Yeah.
Remember that? He got moved to the bench, didn't say a word, dropped 30, and just let, he talked this shit in the post game.
Yeah.
That's all.
I agree.
So Klay Thompson is still very capable of giving you 30-plus points. He's just not capable of giving you night in and night out.
I think he is. I agree. I think he's on his back end of his career, but I think Milwaukee is a good fit. They are looking for shooters.
Perfect fit.
And a team.
Giannis is the guy. Dame is the guy. Chris Middleton is your third option. Klay could easily come off the bench, give you 20 to 25 minutes a night, average about 12 to 15.
And a team that just got a shooter, which they were dying for a shooter. I texted him. I knew it was a great fit. KCP leaving the Nuggets and going to the Magic. Shout out our man, Kurt. I texted him. I said, I love this move for you guys. 3 years deal, $66 million. He didn't really get that much money. I think it's a massive pickup for the Magics. They're an up-and-coming team acquiring a shooting guard that they need a spot-up shooter who's also won 2 NBA titles with different teams. So, he is a winner. That's what they need in that locker room with a bunch of young guys.
Yeah, I think this is a great pickup, though. I told you I think KCP could contribute to a team. He's a great two-way player. Yes, he's a little up there now in age where he can't give it to you at the high level defensively as he once could, maybe like on that Lakers championship team run. But, I think it was a smart move, KCP standpoint, just because he opted out. Remember, his option was like the 16 or 18 mil. Now he's able to get a little pay raise, go to Orlando, help a young team develop, and possibly win. Who knows? I think, if Paolo takes that next step, maybe, if Paolo takes an Anthony Edwards type step, Magic could be in the thick of things come playoff time, Dale. Maybe if they make another move, they got plenty of money. They could go out there get a DeMar. They could go out there get a Clay. They could go out there and possibly get what's my other boy's name? Miles Bridges, a Tyrus Jones, a Malik Beasley. There's a Caleb Martin from Miami. He's an unrestricted free agent. So I still feel like Orlando Magic still have room to make another splash play, or even a sign and trade deal. Maybe like Donovan. I'm gonna keep saying this till a deal gets done. Donovan Mitchell is yet to sign his extension. He's gonna get, if he doesn't sign that contract, let's just say by Tuesday, he's gonna be traded by the 10th. I guarantee it, Dale. So watch out for the Magic. They got the cap space to give him that big 5 years super max at 250, 260, 270, whatever it's going to be. And they got the young assets in picks and players to trade for him.
Want to hear my thought? I don't think they moved Donovan Mitchell at all. I think he winds up signing it. I think he gets like 205 million. I don't know if it's now
200 anywhere.
Yeah, no, I know, but I think he winds up staying with Cleveland. That's just my thought process.
Real quick before moving on, if he was, why not sign 5 days ago like Pascal Siakam? like these other guys who already signed long-term deals.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good. It's a fair point. I don't know.
OG got the huge deal. Quickly got the huge deal. Malik Monk got the huge deal. These are all deals that were done last week, Dill. If he honestly wanted to stay, he would have got a long term deal done before the draft, so they can make moves, so they could maybe not start talking to free agents on the open market, but possibly Donovan Mitchell is out there like, yo, I just signed a deal. Maybe you want to come to Cleveland. He could do recruiting himself. Who knows? But if Donovan Mitchell really honestly intended to return and build on the Cleveland Cavaliers roster, he would have signed the deal a day after the NBA Finals.
And maybe Cleveland's maybe weighing their options, saying, hey, maybe feeling some testers out there. I mean, what can we get for Donovan Mitchell at this point?
A lot.
We talked about 76ers. They got their backup for Joel Embiid. Andre Drummond signed a 2-year, $10 million deal with the 76ers, $5 million per year. I think it's a great job. He cleans up the boards. He's a defensive presence, and he's annoying down low. I'll tell you that much. But I think it's a good backup for Joel Embiid.
Yeah, though, is there, like you said, rebounding machine. Drummond is a solid backup. He's not the guy he wants, back in Detroit or anything like that. But coming off the bench, I think Drummond can still give 6 to 10 and about 8 to 10 rebounds, maybe 12 rebounds a game, just because he's just a massive human being.
Kevin Love is returning to Miami. 2 years, $8 million. He opted out, had to restructure his contract, but 4 years, $4 million per year to stay with Miami. You like this move? He's probably gonna finish out his career in Miami, Kevin Love.
Yeah, I think he's adopting that, Udonis Haslem role.
Yeah.
I think he's adapting that role. He's a player vet. I think he can still come in, give you about 15, maybe 20 minutes a night. Could hit a couple of threes. Mess somebody up in the pick and roll, and still throw the ball down the court. Kevin Love is known for those full court passes. So I think for about $4 million a year, it's a great deal for both sides.
And just breaking news about 5 seconds ago, Jonas Valanciunas has agreed to a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Washington Wizards. They go and get their guy. They drafted Alexander Sarr out of France with the second overall pick. And, good guy to learn from. Jonathan Valanciunas has been over the league over 10 years now.
Yeah, I like what the Wizards doing. Like you said, they drafted Scar. They got my boy Jordan Poole. Say what you want, people. Say what you want. They got my boy Kuzma in there. Yeah, I see the improvements. I think the Wizards will be
They're trying
better.
At
They'll
least.
be better. They'll be better next season.
And, I talked about maybe a Lakers getting them because I do think outside of Anthony Davis, they are lacking a little size down low. And I was like, maybe Jonas Valanciunas would be there. They could get him kind of cheap. He wound up getting $10 million per year on the market. What about trading for a guy like Lauri Markkanen? That's a guy you go and get.
They can't afford.
No, they're going to trade. They're going to go trade for him. That's a guy you go out and get. If you want to win and improve your roster, and Utah's come out and ready and said, hey, we're willing to trade him for the right price, he is available. Now, if they go out and they trade some guys, a guy like D'Angelo Russell, he is a guy you get off your books. Go and bring in a scorer like Lauri Markkanen who could give you 20 to 25 a night with LeBron. That is someone I think would thrive in LA. Your thoughts? That's just a name that just popped up real quick.
Lauri Markkanen is a stud.
Yeah.
He's a stud. So it'll make sense. He's a shooter. He don't need the ball. He's not ball dominant.
Yeah.
The offense can still go around Anthony Davis and LeBron. It makes sense, to be honest. I love that theory, Dill, to be honest. But what are the Lakers willing to give up? That's my thing. Are they gonna want like a first round pick, Austin Reeves, and like Rui Hachimura? It'll depend.
Would you do that if it's that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe I do Russ and Rui just because you got Reeves for another 3 years because he signed a 4-year deal last year, and Russell is entering his last year of his player option.
And people love expiring contracts.
Exactly.
That's what a guy like your team, and we'll talk about them real quick. Ben Simmons, the Nets. The Nets came out and said, we're looking to move on from him. He is going to have suitors. Say what you want. We make fun. We make all the jokes about Ben Simmons. I guarantee you he will have over 5 to 7 teams be interested in picking up Ben Simmons. Why? The potential is there. He was the number 1 overall draft pick back a few years ago. He's an expiring contract, and if he doesn't work out, they could just get rid of him. He will have teams lining up for him. Do you agree?
I don't know about teams lining up, but there will definitely be a handful of teams, taking a flyer on Ben Simmons for a veteran minimum. Just because no team out there is gonna ask Ben Simmons to do what he was doing in Philly in 2018. Nobody's gonna ask him to play 35 plus minutes a night, give me 18 to 20 plus points, and be the best best defender on the floor. Nobody's gonna ask from that from Ben Simmons. But can a team that could use a defensive stretch, for a period of time, could use him? Yes, absolutely. So I feel like there's a few teams out there that could use a defensive presence like Ben Simmons running with the second unit.
That is all we have right now. We will continue to update as the show goes on and as the days go on in the NBA. Real quick, NFL, just one news that happened. Former number 1 overall draft pick, Jamarcus Russell, he was fired as a volunteer assistant coach at his alma mater high school, Williamson High School in Mobile, Alabama. And now he's facing a lawsuit accusing him of stealing a $74,000 check meant as a donation for the school. Is he down that bad?
Small chance he's down that bad, Dill. I don't want to comment on it too much. Shout out Jamarcus Russell. To me, he's a legend. I don't want to comment too much.
But if this is true, no,
it's a damn shame.
Yeah, no shout out to Marcus Russell.
Still,
by the way, did you Clayton Clark? Did you watch her on Sunday? Big win over the Mercury, 88-82.
I saw that 12-0 run in the third quarter. I'm like, damn, what's going on? I was watching the first half a little bit. Mercury was up. I think they were up double digits at one point, throughout the game, first half. And then I tuned back in, like about 4 minutes left, and Indiana just go on this run. And they I'm not gonna say they coasted home. Mercury made it close down the stretch. About a minute left in the game. Brittany Griner hit a free throw to tie the game, but they were able to close it out. So give credit to Indiana taking care of business and closing it out on the road.
Yeah, the whole story was, the GOAT Diana Taurasi going 40 years old and still balling out, going against, Caitlin Clark and, the future and whatnot. She was a rebound away from a triple-double because 15 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. She was a rebound away from a triple-double. No rookie in WNBA history has ever recorded a triple-double. She was about to make history. But big win for them on the road. It was their first win over a team 500 or better. So good win for the Indiana Fever. Angel Reese, she continues to make history, even though they lost. 10th straight double-double. It's a single-season WNBA record. She passes Candace Parker, another legend, back in 2015, where she had 9 straight double-doubles. Angel Reese, say what you want about her. She's a baller, kid.
Yeah, Del. This is why I said, to you last week's show, she has to be a little closer for the Rookie of the Year, just because she's going to set some records. Boom, is her one already set. Already set the all-time WNBA double-double streak. Now she's gonna do it as a rookie. Then she might even set the all-time double-doubles in the season. And this is all in her rookie year deal. So to me, she has to get some consideration for the Rookie of the Year. Not taking away nothing for Clayton Clark. All I'm saying is Angela Reese has been playing at a high level. People.
100%. I mean, right now.
Yeah. I just want to say, just give her credit. I understand Chicago lost, but to me, both girls are balling.
Yeah, 100%. She's absolutely balling. And like you said, odds have changed. Right now, Caitlin Clark minus 600, plus 400 for Angel Reese. There was a time she was over 1,000 favorite.
And Clayton Clark was minus like 2,000.
Yeah, so It's getting to the point where it's almost even, still minus 600 is a big favorite, but Angel, I do think, which will help Angel Reese, they need to start winning because she could do all this, but if they're a can,
No,
she's not
to
going to win.
me, it comes down if one of them able to make the playoffs. To me, that might just put them
Yeah.
over the top for the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Because both teams didn't make the playoffs last.
Would you take a flyer on Angel Reese right now at plus 400? The value's all gone because we should have got it 2
I got
weeks
it at
ago.
plus 800.
Yeah.
A little sprinkle, nothing crazy.
Oh, so you did put a little.
Yeah,
I like
plus-
that.
plus
I like
800.
that. All right, so the value.
It makes sense. I did it when she was like at 6 games.
Yeah.
At 6 straight doubles, and I was like, you know what? Like I said, Clayton Clark, she's leading the league in assists. I think she's also leading this league in in 3-pointers made, but she also leading the league in turnovers still, and by a lot. So you got to put that in consideration. And if Angela Reese just continues what she's doing, averages a double-double throughout the season as a rookie, possibly leads her team to the playoffs, sets the all-time double-doubles record as a rookie, I think she has to win it if Clayton Clark doesn't make the playoffs, and she does.
Yeah, and Angel Reese leads the league in rebounds as a rookie right now. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think she's live, kid. I truly do. Real quick, before we get to our plays, shout out the Devils. Big draft over the weekend. It was at the Sphere. Dude, we have to go out there. The Sphere looks incredible. It was like the first, I guess, sporting event, but I guess you could say a draft is an event, but it looks sick. Shout out the Devils. They had a good draft. They got 6'7" defenseman from Russia at 10th overall, Anton Silva. They go, we'll make sure to get you a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, not a pork roll. And he looks at him like, what the fuck is this? Like, I got from Russia. I don't know what the hell that is. They said, don't worry, kid. You'll get it here quick. But shout out the Devils. They had a really good draft. Hopefully they have a good season. They can't have a bad season like they did last year. I will say that. Anything else, kid, over the weekend before we get to these plays?
That's about it.
That's about it. Yeah.
You enjoy what cover. Anything else we had to talk about?
All right, kid, let's get to before we do that, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives, whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry watching the NBA. It doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to these plays. Like I said, short slate here on a Monday, only 3 games on the diamond. Usually it's a shorter slate on a Monday, but it's never been this short, just 3 games. A lot of travel spots for some teams, but at least we got day baseball. I will say that. We will start in Toronto. Blue Jays hosting the Houston on the road, going to Toronto. Blue Jays home puppies plus 122 with Rodriguez on the mound. Hunter Brown is the favorite on the road, minus 144. Over under is at 8.5. They took 2 of 3 from the Mets over the weekend. Can the Houston Astros keep it rolling, kid?
I think so, Dale. Give me the Houston Astros on the road, minus 146 on the money line. Don't get me wrong, I don't love Brown on the mound, but I said it a couple weeks, people. I'm just done with the Blue Jays. I don't like how they've been playing. I don't know what's going on. I expected them to just be a little better than this season than they were last season, and with Rodriguez on the mound, I think I even love that anymore. I think that's why the price is going up too as of right now. I caught minus 146, but I'm seeing the line keep jumping up. So shop around, but definitely try to place the bet in today before tomorrow, people. Give me Houston on the money line.
Yeah, Uriel Rodriguez, not the best. The problem is money continues to keep coming in on Houston. They opened up at minus 142. They're up to a minus 150, minus 155 in some places I see. I think we see. I instead of taking, because I don't want to take the Houston Astros at this spot. I don't trust Toronto either with their bad bullpen and just being inconsistent at home. I'd rather take the total. Both teams being able to score some runs. Blue Jays over the weekend, they scored a bunch of runs, except on Sunday, but they've been involved in a lot of high scoring games. So have the Astros. Their bats have picked it up. So if anything, I would take the over 8.5. 8.5 seems a little too small for me. So I lean over here in the first game. Let's go out to the nation's capital, Washington Nationals hosting the New York Mets. David Peterson going for the Mets. Mackenzie Gore going for the Nationals. It's a pick 'em -108 both ways. Over under is at 8.5. After that long winning streak, Mets kind of cooled down over here lately at home. Lost 2 or 3 from the Houston Astros. Can they bounce back here on the road, kid?
I think so, Bill. I think it's a perfect bounce back situation for them. The Mets play better on the road. They go back on the road, short trip as well, only down to Washington, Dill. And let's just be honest, they've been playing well before Houston, lost 2 or 3 to them, and I think they'll bounce right back and take care of business against Washington, Dill. And I also like Peterson more than Mackenzie Gore. Let's just be honest. So give me the Mets on the money line, -115. And as of right now, they're a pickle.
Yeah, -108. So shop around. I'm probably going to take them just like you said. I do trust them a little more here. It just worries me that this is a trap. Why is it a pick 'em? Washington is not good. They've lost 4 of their last 5. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They're under 500 at home. And they're struggling to score some runs. On Sunday, they laid a goose egg 4. They only scored 1 run over the weekend. Like, they're struggling offensively. Why is it 108? That worries me that it might be a trap. I'm going to fall for it, but I'll take the Mets here to bounce back. I do think this is a good spot for them. And then the last game over there in Coors, I'm going to go out to Coors when I'm over there in Denver. So
it's nice.
Tickets are dirt cheap. They're like $6-7, kids. So one of the worst teams in the league, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to have another stadium crossed off. But Austin Gomber going for the Rockies. Bryce Wilson, going for the Brewers. Brewers -164, road favorites, +138 for the Rockies. Over under is at 11.5. I see some 11s out there. Money's actually come in on the Rockies. They opened up a -174 favorite. The Brewers bet down now to -164. People are on the Rockies here. They see some value here at home. Do you?
I don't, Dill. Give me the Brewers on the road. And I'm laying it on the run line, Dill. Give me the run line -105. Brewers, they're playing better ball. Winners 4 out of the last 5. Rockies lost 4 out of the last 5. I'm going to just go with the better club on the road, Dill. At the end of the day, the Rockies are the Rockies. And the Brewers, last 2 weeks, cooled down a little bit, but they got it rolling back again. Give me the Brew Crew on the run line on the road.
I would also take the under. 11.5 seems a little high out there. Even at home this season, they're just a 500 record towards the total. 11.5 seems a little too high for a struggling offensive team in the Rockies. Now, Milwaukee, they've been able to score some runs, so maybe you want to take the team total for the Brewers if you could get maybe a 5.5. I think they could score that. They scored 7 here on Sunday. They scored 6 on Friday as well against the Cubs. So I think they could score some runs. They are the better team. You said run line -111. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. Usually I like it to be like -110 or a plus price on the run line, but it is the Rockies. Rockies did win here on Sunday, snapping their losing streak, but yeah, I still don't trust them. It's a travel situation also for Rocky. So going to Chicago, coming back home, not the longest trip, but I actually lean team total here. Let me see if there's actually a line here for team total. There is. Ooh, it's at a 6.5. That's high. Yeah, that's high. Maybe I would do under now. I didn't see it, but I do think the Brewers are the right side. I might probably not bet this game. It's hard to find value here. Unless you really like the dog, I really don't see too much value here. So, yeah, I like the Mets, and I like the under 8.5 here or the over, for the Houston and Toronto game. Let's go over to the WNBA. Like I said, 2 games here on a Monday. Phoenix on a back-to-back. They just lost to the Fever. They come back, play one of the best teams in the league, Connecticut Sun, 14-4. They opened up the dog. Now money has come in on them. Now the Phoenix Sun are 2.5-point favorites. I see 1.5 at some places to shop around. -134 on the money line. Phoenix dogs at home, +2 on the spread, +114 on the money line. Over-unders at 159, kid. I laid the 1.5. I was able to get a 1.5 earlier in the day. I just think Phoenix coming off a loss. They play well on the road. I think they're going to be able to come. I know Phoenix is good at home, but they just lost to the Indiana Fever. I think this is a good spot for Connecticut. They play better defense. I think this is a good spot for them to get back into the win column. So I'm going to take Connecticut. If you don't want to take the spread, maybe take them on the money line, but I like Connecticut Sun here.
Yeah, they'll give me Connecticut Sun -1.5. Took them early. I still love it at -2, even if it gets to 2.5. People, the Mercury, they just played a tough one tonight, and they blew it. They blew it against the Fever. How you think they're gonna play tomorrow night against a much better Connecticut Suns team? So I'm gonna lay on the road with the Suns. It wouldn't shock me if they take care of business tomorrow.
All right, and then let's go to the last game. We got the Seattle Storm taking on the Dallas Wings. Huge favorite. It's kind of moved around. Opened up at 12. Kind of got bet down a little to 0.5 point. 11.5. Seattle is laying at home against the Wings. Wings, one of the worst teams in the WNBA. If you want to take the dog, +525 on the money line. Over under high 169. What do you think here, kid? They did blow them out by 20 last time they played.
So, to be honest, I'm going to take it a little different. I might not take an official deal, but I'm going to go first half -7.5 with the Storm deal. Like you said, Dallas is just a bad team. Storm, one of the best in the W. I like that more than the full game, so I'll lean the -7.5 first half.
I'm going to take Jewel Lloyd, her over prop. I mean, Jewel Lloyd is a certified bucket. She's averaging 20 points this season. She dropped 30 last Saturday or last weekend against Dallas. Now coming home against Dallas. In her 2 games against Dallas this season, she's had 30 and 19 in the early June. And yeah, those are the only 2 times she played. So, depending on where the number is, if it's around 25, 26, I think Jewel Lloyd is a certified bucket. I would take I think they blow them out too. I mean, they won 97-76 last time they played. I don't see this going much different. Wings play no defense. That's why I think you're seeing a high total of 169 as well. So maybe team total over for Seattle as well, but I think Seattle no pun intended, they storm the Wings here. Real quick, kid, do or die. I don't know if you've been watching Copa America. We lost fucking the other day. We talked about it on the pod. But we play Monday right now. Venezuela is beating Jamaica 2-0. And we have a tie in Mexico and Ecuador 0-0 midway through the second half. But we got 2 games here on Monday. Panama taking on Bolivia. Panama -160 favorite. And then USA versus Uruguay. USA backs against the wall. They need to win this. +145 underdog. No, actually, the United States are the fucking favorite. +145, +200 for Uruguay. Kid, I love this country, but I might take the 200. Uruguay is a better team.
So I understand they're playing in America, but there's no reason why the United States should be the favorite.
Yeah.
Maybe there's just that much money coming in by Americans that the line is this way, but I'm with you, Dill. Hey, don't call me.
There's no one in this world that loves America more than me and Elvis.
Don't call me a hypocrite, but give me Uruguay +200.
No, I agree. I mean, they were better than Panama, who we just lost to. They were better than Bolivia, who we beat. Why are we favorite now coming off a loss? I get it. It's a do or die, and we need this win. But what did the United States show us in their last game that, and I love Christian Pulisic, but is he the guy? Like, I think that's a fair, but is he? He hasn't really done anything. And yeah, I guess you could say it might be the team and not him, but he's our big time players step up in big time moments. He has not stepped up for us. I don't know. Can we keep calling him Captain America? Like, I think the United States are just desperately trying to cling on to something and be like, hey, we're good in soccer, when in reality, we're not.
We're average.
Yeah, at best. So yeah, I'm gonna take Uruguay as well at plus 200. I just think the value is there. But that's all I got, kid. What are you doing this week? Any big plans for you?
It's July 4th this week, Dill. So
that's right.
We got to see how we're gonna do this next episode. We'll see. We'll work around the schedule. I don't know if I'll go Thursday, Dill, but I'm definitely going to Atlantic City this week or weekend.
Hey, high roller, put in some futures.
Nah. I might hit that Showboat water park, the indoor water park on the boardwalk. It's pretty nice. So I might hit that. Maybe try not to gamble.
Well, you might have to put in some futures for maybe college football or the NFL. But kid, good luck with that. Have a great week, everyone. Happy 4th of July. Be safe. Call an Uber. It's no one should be drinking and driving at this point in this world anymore. But that's going to do it for this Monday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, make sure you guys follow along our social media, Twitter and Instagram at the Dream Wager. If you miss an episode, no worries. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review, comment below who you think is going to your team. We want to hear all about it. All that good stuff really helps the show go tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days, and we will see you guys on Friday. Peace.